Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's time for us to start off the discussion segment on this morning on ITV. Well, it is all about proposed solidarity protests with ASUU. But Nigerian Labour Congress has been generating those, despite the fact that the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said it's illegal for them to embark on that solidarity protest because of a DSS report. They are saying we have the right to protest. But how do you think all this will turn out when we talk about the resolution of impasse between ASUU and, of course, the federal government? With me here in the studio, I have two vibrant youths. Let me start my introduction from my immediate left. He is a politician, a political analyst, and entrepreneur. Join me to welcome Eki Festus. I choose to shorten that Eki because it's too long. You know it's too long. It's a sentence.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. As everybody close to him, he is a youth leader, a politician, an entrepreneur, an agriculturist. You just name it. He's an all-rounder. You just name it. Join me to welcome Samuel Ehigato, a.k.a. Aras. Welcome to TMI on this edition.
Good morning, Wilson.
I appreciate your
Good morning,
coming.
viewers.
All right. After months of ASUU strike, for the very first time, NLC choose to pitch tent with ASUU. They wrote a memo to the federal government, to the police, and others saying they want to come out to protest. They call it a protest with ASUU because they need a solution to this impasse, because for more than 4 months now, students have been at home doing nothing. Some are saying, why now? Some are saying it's start too late. Others are saying, come on, it's better now than never. Let's start off with you, Aras. What do you feel about this?
Wilson, thank you very much. The problem I have with the different unions is that most times what they fight for are personal interests, not the interest of the general public. And when it has to be with personal interest, you have to weigh the economical value of what you are requesting for. You have to weigh the situation for the people you are claiming that you are requesting this thing for. ASUU is requesting for so many things with the federal government. And the arrears which they have with the federal government started since 2001, not even of today. Which, with the federal government, they have had an agreement that this money should be paid stepwise, instrumentally. And as I've heard so far, my information very concrete, that 2 times payment has been made. That is on one side. If the first payment was made, second payment was made, what does it take the teachers to also think of the student, to also think of the economy of the country, to also think of the people mindset? And so, okay, they have started doing something, let's go to work. I'm sorry. This is not about that their salaries are not being paid now, listen. We are talking of arrears. Negotiations on arrears. Arrears are these are things maybe you have worked for years. Good. Fine. But the 4 governments they offered not to pay it. You did not protest. Or you protest, you were bet, you went back. So it has been shifted and shifted and shifted to today. Now, there's a government that is even listening, that have even started doing the payment. And secondly, the NLC on their own. They be a part of these negotiations. They have been there in the negotiation. They know what is going on. So, when you see there's a progress somewhere, what I have expected the NLC is to encourage the teachers to go back, the lecturers to go back to school. I expected even the students to protest that the teachers, the lecturers should come back to school. Because you have paid your salary. It's not your salary being owed. It is what you claim that you have worked for the other government. So you are punishing the present government, you are punishing the present economy, you are punishing the present students who are now supposed to graduate, shifted because of unnecessary strike. Sometimes we should start doing things in otherwise. What is wrong now that AAU is back in school? The teachers are, the lecturers are there, the students have started going to school. Why can't other schools take the same examples? I think sometimes we override some issues for the minimum, the minority. These civil servants, they are minorities. It is not possible that every time the minority hold the majority to ransom. There is a time we should start thinking of this thing. The issue we have in the markets today with the price and all, it's all about this union. Their own personal selfish interests. It's always on the higher ground than the interest of the student, interest of the people, and interest of the government. Because the unions are supposed to be part of the government, to fix the government, not to destroy the government, or not to fight the government. You are supposed to help the government to maintain things. There are things called negotiations. It is done abroad. All these issues happen to everywhere. But it is the ability for us to negotiate, go back to work. These people refuse. No. First installment paid. Go back to work. These people said no. Second installment paid. Not recently again. Go back to work. They said no. If it is in that sense, I feel, for me, what the NLC is trying to do is uncalled for. I expect them to advise the ASUU to resume pending all negotiation finalized, all payment finalized. Okay. Because the federal government have not said now, we are not going to pay. They have negotiated an amount, they have agreed on the amount. So it is not about we are not paying now. It is about give time, based on the economy of the country right now.
All right.
There's recession everywhere.
All right.
Even though we are complaining, we are saying our politicians are buying tickets, 100 million here and there. This is their personal money, my brother. It is their interest if they want to help the federal government with their money. If it's not, it is their interest to use it to buy tickets to contest for election.
All right, Samuel.
Taking it politically now wrongly, which is very wrong.
I will come back to you, Samuel, because the federal government has declared involved with the street protest planned by the Nigerian Labour Congress in solidarity with the striking members of university-based unions, saying that it can cause anarchy in the country. You heard Samuel, he said it's like ASUU is taking it too far. According to him, federal government have already made some payments, but are still battling for the arrears. They're talking about the former agreement. What do you feel about this? His own opinions and views.
The truth of the matter is ASUU is man enough, permit me to use that word, and they know what's good for them. It shocked me to see that strikes in Nigeria is becoming something that is rampant. I guess the last time I did a research and analysis, I think that 1999 till now, ASUU have been on strike for about more than 2 years.
Yes.
It's
altogether.
not for our democracy.
Of course.
And the federal government on their own, they are not being sincere. I want to drift back to 2007 when I was in the University of Ibadan. One government official then came out and said, UI is claiming to be the premier university, nothing to show for it. Months later, UI did an exhibition and called the federal government to show them this is what we have developed as a school, as an institution. These things are things that can alleviate poverty. Part of those things that were on ground that day was a machine that can refine pure water cellophane. That sachet cellophane, there was a machine that was developed by students there that can refine it. These are part of the things ASUU are clamoring for. You don't just establish a university. I'll wake up in the morning as a student, I'll go to school, lecturers will teach me and I'll go back. The lecturers are there receiving less than 200, 300,000. They need money for research. Now, after the research, what happened to the result? So, ASUU is not on strike because they want to be on strike. I want to say federal government have not been able, for once, to meet up to 30–40% of the agreement reached each time ASUU is on strike. So to me, I would advise ASUU to stay more. I'm telling you the truth.
They should stay more on strike.
Stay more. These things should be resolved once for all. Our schools are like normal 4 walls. When you just go receive class, you go. You go to our laboratory, is a problem.
Not all.
Yes, not all. Now, look at part of the things they are driving home. I also want federal government to sign. Recently, in our state, a government will just wake up and tell you, this is a state university. You just make law that begin to affect them without paying attention, considering the institution. You wake up and pick any person to become the vice chancellor of an institution where you have academicians, professors, emeritus are there. So they are not just telling us that allowance, no. It's not about the allowances. Allowance is there. They are asking for money for research. Then some universities, some of our universities need to be reawoken. Now, we have friends that have traveled out of this country. They study the same course you study. They go there and they call you and say, bros, now they play for there now. I know now, I'll not be like that. I don't know if you are getting it. I will tell you there are universities that are just like some secondary schools. Some universities, structures and all, they are like secondary schools. You check now, how would they be able to produce leaders? So ASUU is not crying about areas only. Part of what they have been saying is, if it is possible, give these universities a level of autonomy. Let's do this thing on our own. It shouldn't be federal government coming to play politics with universities again. As a lecturer, you are supposed to have grants for research. When you are done with the research, you bring it back to the university to check out this thing will have impact in the economy. Now let's promote this thing. We've not seen university producing things like that, and federal government will come and say, you did this, it's okay, it's encouraging. We are giving you another 20 million. Let's mass produce this thing. Let's test run it. Let's see how it's going to be. It is only in Nigeria you see a graduating student going home with 1 million naira, 500,000. A best graduating student in a department. Then you watch concerts where someone will go home with 30 million. I don't know if you are getting me, Wincy. So ASUU have a lot of things they are telling the federal government, let's come to table and discuss this thing once for all. So for me, NLC should join them to go on strike. The protest is long overdue.
Well,
remember I said something here before that. Yeah. NAMS should join ASUU. They should work hard things. They should be.
Okay, Sam, you want to react to what he said? ASUU should continue. They should blow once and for all. NSC should join.
I want to make you understand one point.
Yes.
It's just like what we discussed about Ukraine, Russia. What NSC is trying to do is the same politics. You said you want to join ASUU in strike. And who are those strikes going to affect? Is it the federal government? Is it the politicians? No, Wilson. It is me and you that cannot go to the shop to do what we're supposed to do, that I cannot go to our business and to do what we are supposed to do. You cannot go to offices to do what we are supposed to do. We are going to be the receiving end. The Minister of Education is not going to feel a part of it because he's well okay. The politicians are well okay. Their allowances are there. It is we that are minimum salary receiver that are going to suffer NLC strike. For that purpose, first and foremost, I don't support it because the poor masses, the general public is going to take the pain, not the politicians. And if it is going to change anything, as for now, to make that negotiation to be more faster, I'm not sure. Because negotiations have their time and their game. Like what my brother was saying, that they are not only fighting for their arrears, but I tell you 70% of their request is an arrear of the financial base. Then if you are talking of research, you are talking of developing research, sponsoring what the students are doing, or to sponsor university. I want to tell you, I spent over 30 years in Germany. That's where I studied too. Most of these universities are not being sponsored by the federal government. The only thing the federal government takes responsibility are salary based. But when you talk of research, the university body, they have a body, a committee body. They goes to meet private individual firms. They allow private individual firms have contracts with them to sponsor whatever they are building. If it's a phone he have created, he will look for a big firm that can be able to sponsor that issue and bring it to limelight. He goes to the television house to publish himself. He does not wait for the federal government. But while Nigerians, we are too concerned that everything must come from government. Why do we have an NLC? Why do we have Julius Berger? Why do we have these different companies? They are all multi-million companies. Why do we have Dangote there? Why do we have these people there? Why can't this university also have bodies that could approach these people? Like the other day, somebody did a generator in Taraba State University that was supposed to be using water. I don't know if you were aware. Yeah. As he does that, he did not wait for the federal government to come and sponsor him. What did he do? He went to meet, I think, a rice company or so. Yeah. There was a rice company in this area. He met the rice company. They started producing for the rice company, this generator. But it is not enough. I wish he has that force. It is not for the rice companies. We don't have the capacity to push this guy to the next level, to be an exporter, or to bring the state to like southern state, other states, as supposed. It's for the rice company to look for a partner in collaboration and make this man and this product great. In University of Benin, a lot of things are being created every time. Or do you want to tell me that in Benin or those states we don't have multi-million companies that could sponsor those research, that could make sure that those research become a realistic point? So if they said because of those research and because of this is the reason they are on strike, my learned brother, I will tell you it is very wrong. All right. They should learn from the economic, the developed countries. Because we pray one day we should be a developed country. We pray one day we should be like Europe, we'll be like these people. But we want to rely on the federal government for everything. It is not going to work. It is not going to work. Even in the state, it is a state where people will complain, this road bad, government not good one, government not good one. But listen, you will find that on that road they are complaining. They are multi-millionaires that could bring just 10 million from their pocket.
So fix the road.
Let's fix this road. Must not wait for the government every time. You have the idea to do it. Then fix it up. The government might even recognize you for it. The people of the environment will recognize you for it. Even though it's not financially recognition, but the pride of the people, that you are a pride of the people, that you did this for them, you made this possible. It pains me, my heart, most especially with the companies, most especially. The companies, I'm very angry with them mostly. Because they have social responsibility towards the people. Like the churches are crying too. The churches, they buy private jet. There are multi-million churches. I was going through the 15 richest pastor. 56 billion. 40-something billion. What? Net worth.
91 billion.
Net worth. And you are crying that your members.
Naira or dollars?
In Naira. Worth some dollars. I don't understand. Then you are saying your own members in school don't go to school. Your own members. And you have like 1 million of them which are at home right now. You could not even say, okay, let me partner with the federal government. How much is it really this problem? As a godly man, as a person that I expect that people should respect what he says, you are making the money from these same people. It's their pocket money. It is very wrong. Look at even the churches university that you are claiming that they have all these things. Can you even attend it? Can you pay for the school fees? These are churches even built with me and you sweat, me and you tithe and offerings. We cannot even send our children there because all the equipments are there, foreign, or what we desire. But you put the school fees of the highest. Is it not also good to start thinking, how do we bring the school fees down to encourage the poor people, the poor members to also come to this school so they can make use of this research opportunity,
okay,
all those laboratory opportunities,
okay,
or even if you're buying these laboratory expenses, all these things for any university in their environment and vicinity. This is wrong.
Okay,
well, everything not just always be federal government.
All right, now, at the beginning of his point, he talked about politics. Like Mohammed talked about that this is about interest and is sensing politics. And if we want to dive into private institutions, talking about churches and own schools and all that. But let's take a look at the political aspect of it. Do you think that the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, with the federal government, saying that it's all about the interest and there is a bit of politics in the planned protests in support of ASUU strike? Take it up from there.
I don't think Lai Mohammed is more political than any of us here. He's a member of the Progressive Congress, which I am.
And of course, a minister.
Yeah, he's a minister. Now, let me say this thing. Let me start from when he said protests will affect you and I. Now, if the Nigerian Labour Congress is asking a member to down tools, don't forget, no oil production again, no drilling. I don't know if you are getting me. There are protests that affect you and I more. It also affect the government. It's going to reduce the government's income per hour.
Yeah.
Now, we are talking about ASUU. Everything needed here is less than 100 billion.
Small.
It's more than that. We were talking about billions, right?
Yes, that's why I said it's less than. Well, the last one was about 90 billion or thereabout.
The two phases have been paid.
State collects, most state collect up to almost 1 billion, 700 million for security oath, and yet no security. Let me leave that. Yes. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is this: ASUU, NLC come together, shut down the government, shut down the country for a while. We're talking about students being at home. And you
shutting them down, bring them?
Yes, let's shut down this country for a while. The federal government will now call ASUU, okay, let's start negotiation again. NLC be here, NAS be here. At the end of the day, there's going to be an agreement, a workable one, that will bring the student back to classroom. Education is very costly. The only thing we enjoy for government as at present is education. The only thing that is cheap in this country, that you say, okay, I'm going to school, I'm a student, I'm getting this thing on a cheaper rate. There is subsidy in education. Many persons don't know. If you go to the US, they'll tell you $35,000 per semester. That's when we're talking about university going to look for money for research. Will federal government give university that autonomy?
Why not?
No, this is part of the things they are asking for. Give us autonomy. We can source for funds to do some things. Go and check the.
Don't you think that will backlash on the students?
That is another way.
Because you talk about 35,000 those.
Yes.
Now compared to Nigeria, okay, everybody goes source for funds. It will fall back on the students.
At the end.
How many parents can afford that?
I've had that thought, but the question now is this. Not until I am at the point of crossing the road, I'm not going to start looking left and right. I don't know if you are getting me.
Yeah.
When I get there, I want to cross the road, I'll not look left and right. There is no country in the world that you're going to start comparing our schools with. Not that we don't have good lecturers. We have lecturers that will live here, they go there, and they are doing well. So let me mention tell us all about politics. What's politics? If the agreement, the federal government, how the ASUU, they've been able to reach all the agreement, would there be ASUU strike? No. You need a child, you got married, or you pregnant a woman. Now you have a child, you should start caring for the child. That's what is happening now. There is nothing political about this. And I'm saying it on air here. The oppositing party, the People Democratic Party, they are not playing their role. You can't tell me ASUU is on strike, your children are there, my kids are there, and you've been mute about it. It is only when you are not seeing the opposition party sponsoring protests, which they ought to have been doing. You must, at times, put the government at raise. They should run. They are collecting money. They should work for it. My brother, do you know a commissioner for 4 years do better than lecturers who have lectured for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years? There are still professors that receive below 400,000, 350,000. You know what happens when you lecture? You have to clean up every year.
If you don't clean up, there are kids that will come to the lecture room and tell you, sir, no, that is an old idea. No, it's no longer like that. So clean up your intelligence, your value, your knowledge every year is not what you do with little change. If you want to make a publication, local publication, no one is below 35,000. Now, local publication.
100,000.
Now you are going to have an international publication. If you don't write, you don't publish, you can't move. You will not give me, as a graduate assistant, maybe 120,000 naira a month. I'll feed, parents, maintain my office, and at the end of the day, you want me to publish an article. It's not possible. It's not possible. We're not just talking about something that you are going to say, okay, people are doing it, they want ASUU to actually do this thing. NLC should join them because other political parties are trying to infiltrate ASUU. No. A lot of things is not working in the universities. It's not working. Our friends that lecture you, they will tell you, bros, to write easy. Then you want to go publish. A lecturer will have 5 articles. He will be calculating his salary. His salary is okay. I'll drop 10,000 naira this month. No. There is no motivation again. If you can't give them the autonomy they are asking for, Oga, answer their request.
All right, Sam, he gave us the reason why he said this is not political. He gave an example of lecturers trying to write their thesis, trying to write articles and all that, talking about the uplift of the school, talking about salary structure, talking about the agreement that the federal government is living below expectation. Take it up from there.
Listen, I don't agree with that point, that the federal government is living below expectation.
In terms of ASUU and the lecturers.
Listen to me. This issue we are talking about is since 2001. The area we are talking about, and this issue, this negotiation, it's about what happened since 2001. That is how many years now? You should imagine. That is after 20 years that the federal government have woken up to solve the problem. We should think how many governments have come within that 20 years that did not solve this issue. We have a time that even the ASUU was even 1 year at home. There was still no solution, they have to go back to school. But this one, the government, it's not because the federal government is APC, that's why I'm supporting it. But at least the government have decided to listen to you, has decided to solve the solution with you, and have come on a round table with you, and you are still on negotiation. Why the hype? Installment payments have been made to encourage that we are really serious. I think every civilized, every normal human being will see the reality and the sincerity of the government in this issue. Why Lai Mohammed suspected politics? Listen, I tell you, it's because if you look at what is happening recently in Nigeria with the Obedient Labour Party, I don't understand. There is something clinical there.
You are not bringing in politics.
You see, you
are not bringing in politics. Sam, you're not bringing in politics.
You say, why did Muhammad say there's politics in it?
Okay.
I have to tell you the reason why Lama said there's politics in it.
All right.
And a candidate is meeting with labor unions here and there. Recently shown on television, of national televisions, meeting with them. We don't know what they are negotiating and discussing. Is it the one hyping them? We don't know. There can be a suspicion that the Labour Party is hyping them to destabilize the APC government with this protest. I'm telling you, my brother, Nigeria play a lot of tricks with politics. This Labour Party can sponsor them. I can tell you that categorically. It happens before in Nigeria that opposition sponsor protests. That is why Lai Mohammed said there is a suspicion of politics in there. Because from the antecedent of Labour now, you are not playing a partner to a Labour Party. As a Labour union, playing a partner with a Labour Party. Are you a politician? Are you a politician? Holding meeting with Labour all over everywhere. There is something cynical going on there that we don't know. That is where the suspicion of there is politics of this NLC coming up now to say, because they have been on the table, they have not rejected the negotiation they have been doing. Suddenly, election is coming, you want to protest. Sir, there's politics in all our home, even from your family. So there could be politics in this game. So I will not take it away that there's no politics, because there's antecedent that there's a political hinge behind this game. So that is on that one. On the aspect of federal government payment of salary, we all know every government have a salary base. We have level 1 to level 16. They have salary bases. You cannot expect the federal government now to come and be paying a level 1 the same salary like level 15, because level 1 said he want to do a publishing, he want to do this one, he don't have money for it. So he should be collecting the same salary like a level 15. It is not possible. Government is not like private enterprise. In a private enterprise, there are a lot of things you can do. And if I want to also tell you, most of these lecturers, they have side works, other work they do. They have other jobs they do. Some of them don't even attend lectures because of their business. We know. You understand me? So everything, we don't have to say it is government alone. We ourselves must find solution to this issue. And how do we find solution to this issue? Is to think what is the right way. The right way is what the federal government is doing right now, trying to negotiate and to pay them off. But another way I will still plead, the schools, the ASUU, every university should be able to have a committee board. That committee board is to source for funds irrespective of the federal budget coming to them, in order to be able to solve some issues too. Companies can even build laboratories for university. The word they will write there, Indomie company build it. This tire company build it. And for the next 20 to 100 years, it will be recognized that this company was the one that contributed this thing to the progress of this school. It is nothing bad in it. If I, Samuel Ehigiato, I has as much as like most people have, I believe by now I could have sent already 100 million to all university and said, go and start your job.
All right. Well, he raised the point.
He said that keep your negotiation with the federal government.
He raised the point saying there is a Labour Party somewhere, and of course there's an NLC somewhere. There should be a connivance. That's why the Minister of Information and Culture is saying this is highly political. This is electionary year. You're going on protest because you have a candidate.
Yes.
Festus.
The truth of the matter is, I am not saying my government have failed because I'm the member of the APC, but it's only a failed man, a lazy workman that quarrel with his working tools. Say, ASUU matter is not a matter that we just talk and think it's like that. It's more than that. If I am of the Labour Party and I want to destabilize the government, I will look for loopholes. But if there is no loopholes, I can't go there. I don't know if you are getting me.
They are using the loopholes.
Now, it is my attitude at times is based on the attitude you give to me. There is what called stimulus response. It's a theory in my field of study. Now, there is already something on ground. Federal government unable to meet up with the demand of ASUU, be it Obasanjo regime, Yar'Adua regime, Jonathan regime. I am not saying Buhari government, federal government. So the day he swung to that oath, that day he picked up every responsibility of taking care of the government that came before him. I don't know if you are getting me.
Definitely.
Now, meeting Labour Party to discuss strike now, they are even slow about it. Labour Party should bring out money, PDP should bring out money, people should be at home, ASUU should be on the street. After being on the street for like 2-3 days, you go back home, go and relax.
But which collabo you talked about, don't you think there's politics underneath it?
I am not telling you, there should be more politics to it. PDP should join. You know why? You know why? Education is the other thing we are enjoying now in this country. Security is no. Economy is no. Now students are at home. You are telling me Labour Party shouldn't meet with Labour Party, they shouldn't meet with NLC? No, they should meet. There should be more meeting. But don't forget, I see what you said. Jagaban said, I don't even think
the Labour Party is doing anything that I'm saying. So to him, there is nothing like that is going to bring issue. But from what you have said, there should be more meeting with NLC. They should bring down this country for a while. You don't understand what it takes for you to apply for a 4-year course and you are spending 6, 7, 8 years, 5 years. You don't know what it takes for your parents to give you 4,000 and instead of 40,000, you say, okay, I'll manage and go to school. You get to school 2 days later, I tell you go back home. That's on strike. You don't know what it takes. Maybe because you've not stayed too much in this country.
I know what it is.
So I am telling you from either first person point of view or a second person point of view. ASUU is not just telling you areas. No, you said something. ASUU should source for funds. With the coming of my government, our government, TSA. Is it TSA? It's TSA and
all account links to one.
I was in my HOD office when I was doing my MSc, and the HOD said, we not even buy some things now. They never bring
The cash.
You understand? Before now, department have an account that they used to run things in that department. Faculty have an account that they used to run things in that faculty. It is a shame to see that in the 21st century, if you are coming for a defense in my department, we go on generator. A 21st century. It is a shame. I don't know if you are getting it. So part of what they are saying is not just my salary. I know the salary is 001. Because without that salary, they can't even come to the classroom. But salary aside. Now, our friends in US will tell you, bro, I don't think go class today, but I did my bed, they receive lecture.
What do you think about that?
I did a program in UI, distant learning program. The way it ought to be run here, you don't need to come to class all the time. You sit in your house, you are with your materials already, the course outline, everything is with you, you study, your lecturer hook up to you, and through virtual, you receive classics. I can go to US and continue my program in University of Benin. If the federal government have answered us on University of Benin have queued onto the 21st century educational program, I don't need to come and defend my project in presidential. I can be there and do it virtual. So there are things they are asking for that is more than the salary. To me, the salary is their right. The areas is their right. It's like telling a local government chairman that the allocation for this year did not capture your local government, so can't give you money. It's not done. That you are the chairman and this is a local government, you are in charge. There is money for you to use for these people. So as a lecturer, your areas is not negotiable. It's not something you come and start telling me, 2001, we never pay a super moon and relax now. No. They should do something. Federal government should do something. Settle the areas, look into research aspect, then university autonomy. Very expedient. Although there's going to be another problem in the front after now, like what he said. When you now give them, they're not going to
autonomy. Thank you.
Fees.
That is what I want to tell you. We will have more problems.
Now, if they will have
when they were paying for booklets, we will every complain.
Let's wait then.
Okay.
We were complaining that minister are collecting too much money for booklets from organizations and all right. You don't give them the full authority to collect more money.
For now.
How many can pay the school fees then?
Okay, gentlemen, your last line on this topic, because starting from tomorrow, Tuesday, Labour say they are coming now, but I say this is illegal. What do you think will play out itself? From you, Samuel, briefly.
Listen, for me, I can only advise the Labour, NLC, not to go to strike, because I repeat, it is going to be to the detriment of we the poor masses. Like he was saying that it's going to affect NNPC, it's going to affect the federal government income. Quite well, but don't forget NNPC have reserve, storage. So how many days do you want to strike? Something could affect them. So my brother, the way Nigerian thinking up there is different from the way me and you think. It would have been nice if this strike is going to bring a quick response. But as I know the Nigerian government we are, they will strike 3 days, 1 week, they go enter house. They go tell them, say, come back to negotiation table. But who have been affected in that 3 days and 1 week? It is we. So that's why for me, I think it's not advisable. I believe more labor should do more, I think understand, to encourage ASUU to return back.
They should do more in what aspect?
To return back to work. No, to return back to work. The installments have been paid, as I repeat again and again. You have got first and second installment. Please, if you are negotiating for a business, for a contract, for example, and then you have agreed on 1 million, for example, that this contract is going to be. And then this person said, okay, I'm going to pay you installmentally, because we can't pay it all once. Good and fine. The first have been paid. The second have been paid as a batch. Won't you return to site and go and work? You go to site and work and be waiting if these people will disappoint you in the third payment. That is my belief. Right. Not saying if it is not complete, if the money is not there, you are not going back.
All right, thank you.
That is a kind of a selfish interest against the general public and the people of Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Government.
Thank you so much. Well, you heard Samuel, so what's your conclusion? Because it's like, you know, as you say, it's not going back. What have to say about that? You're clapping for them? Really?
Don't play politics with education.
But like what you agree to, they're playing politics right now with education. Because you have a labor candidate, you have a labor politics with it. And you should play more politics.
When I use the word, you don't play politics with education.
Yeah.
Federal government should not play politics with education. Presently,
but ASUU should.
ASUU is not playing politics with it.
Then what about labor?
Labor is not playing politics with it. They want to put the federal government on their knees. My brother, my very good friend, you see this country we are. You said something about reserve. I shocked you when you said it. That there is reserve. We are talking about reserve. Where is the reserve?
You go back, my brother.
This kind of NLC protest is not the one that is going to affect your market. Don't fear. It's not affecting. The election is going to affect is government, ministries, parastatals, shut down, go home. Go on and go relax. You shouldn't have been home for some time. Go and join them. Till they listen to ASUU. And I am saying it on air. The people of the Great Party should join in this protest. There are things that when you begin to hear it, it saddens you as a man. We're talking about a century.
Yeah, a drone. Listen, could not pay for.
Sir, yes, they should join.
Yes, they were there.
They should join.
For almost 16 years they were there. They could not pay. They should come and protest against what they defaulted.
A drone can be used to.
They should come and protest on what they defaulted.
This is what I'm telling you. We're in a
My God,
where a drone can be used to lecture people. You know what it means? It is an advanced century.
You can't commit a sin
and you are telling me
right.
in that same century, federal government have not been able to equip our universities. They send their children abroad to school. And people are telling me, no, what's the essence of strike? No, there should be a total shutdown of the country for that. A man will lecture for 31 days, 30 days, 29 or 28 days, as the case may be, and at the end of the day, you are giving him 130,000. Arias is supposed to come along, maybe now making like 140, 150, 170. You didn't pay. A bag of rice is 38,000. A research, just to do a publication, the listener is 50-something thousand. And you are telling me that man Arias has been here 2001 till now. The man should go back to work. No. Let's be fair. Federal government have money to use. They are renovating the legislative building. National Assembly. There is money in this country. They should borrow and solve as a problem. There is money in this country.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Money also.
You are minority.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Well, you've heard them. You've heard them because right now ASUU's NLC says no going back. They are going to go on this strike. Federal government with a mouthpiece like Mohammed is saying, look, this protest is illegal because it has some political undertone. Well, you heard my analysts in course of the discussion. They talked about, Labour Party, Labour as a union coming together to really do one or two things. It's all political. All we want in Nigeria is for students to go back to school. Anyhow, they want to really come out of it. They should please do it fast, because for more than 4 months now, students are in the house and it's not helping anyone. If the protest was support the federal government to settle ASUU, fine. But if the protest will make us go backward, you know what that can cause, because it's shutting down the nation for 1 hour. You know how much we will lose as a nation. And one of my analysts said, look, go and borrow and sort out ASUU problem, because we're talking about billions used for renovating the National Assembly and all that. Well, let's see how all this will pan out. We're talking about a better, effective working country where education is working, where the health sector is working, where the economy is working. The big question now is how things are. Do you like it? Don't answer. Think about it before you throw the answer back at us. Okay, want to go for a breakaway return. It's all about the impact of political structure come 2023 general elections. Don't go away. We'll be right back.